Hi guys, welcome back. Here I am. Right, hope you're enjoying the video I put up this morning. Put one up this morning, the how-to traditional. Now if you remember back when I done the how-to carbide and I done the one where the hollowing out on the pots like this sort of thing, I'd use these two pieces, yeah, and I hollowed them out. Well, I had them sitting there and I was actually going to throw them in the fire and get rid of them, but they've got a really, if you look at that, they've got a really nice sort of grain pattern on them like that, which matches up quite well. It's quite a nice piece of wood actually, and I've already hollowed them out, and we got a pretty good finish. On that. It just needs a little bit of sanding, that's all, tiny little bit. And on that one, I've got enough in the bottom of that to do something with. So I thought I might turn this into a little lidded pot. I thought you might like to just see. I was just going to do it earlier and I thought, well, I might video it so you can see what I'll do. I've turned this quite thin on this, so I can't do a lot with the lid, but I think I've got enough on here, so I'm going to just come in and just do it so it's a little slide over fit, that's all. And just see if it don't work. I've got the fire light there, go in the fire. It's pretty cold today. It's not so much it's cold, it's very damp. It's very damp out. So right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to mount this in the chuck. Leave you where you are for a minute. So I've still got the same tenon on it. It's the same chuck that I used to do it, so I'm just going to mount it back in. I can't see that it wouldn't be. That's running perfectly true, so nothing's moved. This is a piece of ash, by the way. Right, so a little nip and that's it. That's tight enough. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come in on this and I'm just going to cut in a little bit and just give about, well, I'm going to start off with about sort of 4 or 5 mil. I don't want to lose the pattern, the grain match up, so I'm only going to go a few mil slide on first and see how it goes. Now I'm not going to go for a tight fit because I've done this quite thin and I don't want it to crack. So it is dry wood, so it's not going to crack through. I'm going to bring you around here, bring you in a bit, get you around here, try not to, I don't want you to be in my way, but at the same time I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. Right, okay, got you there. So a quick mouthful of coffee and then I'll get started. Right, okay, so all I'm going to do at first, I'm going to just take this, I haven't measured nothing, I'm just going to take very little cuts and see until it actually goes on, and that's what I'm going to do. So face shield on, and now you'll know if you watch the videos back that I've done all the hollowing out on these with the square carbides, and I moved the tool rest back to basically simulate the fact that I was going for a deep hollow, so but keeping it small so you could see it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to continue and use the 14mm square just to come in and do this here. So yeah, everything's running nice and through still, so I'm just going to come in with some gentle cuts. I think it's a bit more than that. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it by taking it down a little bit, just a thin bit on the edge here, so that if it's not right, oh look at that! What a guess, eh? What a guess! Right now that's a little bit of a pop fit. Now I know a lot of people would like that. I don't actually want that for this because that's quite thin. I don't want it to crack, and I don't want it. I want it to be, if I'm going to have it as a usable pot, I want to be able to have the pot, just take the lid off one-handed. You know, I've said it before, wood turners will look for a pop fit like that, pop like that, okay? You can hear it. That's what they will look for. But when you're selling things to people, especially like a lot of pot, I mean, come on, blokes don't go and buy pots, do they? It's mainly women that buy them. And if they want a little pot like this to have some bits in on their dressing table, they don't want a pot that they go pop. They want to be able to go, pick it up, put the lid there, get what they want out of it, do that, and then just walk away. They never put the lids back on. We go around and put the lids back on for them, don't we? You know, but they want to just do it one-handed. So that's why I don't go for a pop fit like that. If you're trying to impress wood turners, that's a different matter. Right, okay. So I know I've got it. Now I've just got to decide how far in I want to go. I think I'm just going to go that amount. I don't think I'm going to go much deeper than that. That's probably about 5 or 6 mil. Now I took a little bit extra, so there we go, look. Okay, that's nice like that. And my grain is still pretty much matching up quite well there. So that's alright, but I can, look, that's a nice, I'm going to, once I turn it a few times, like, yeah, that's perfect. See, that's exactly what I want. Just that fit, just so you can pull it off. It's a slight suction fit, but there's no grip there. So that's all right. Right, so that bit done. Well, that was very quick, wasn't it? So what I'm going to do now, okay, I'm gonna, because there's a very slight, you can just see it there, very slight lip there. So I'm now really hoping this ain't gonna squeal when it might, that will probably move actually and make it squeal. So I'm gonna see if I've got enough there that I can put just a piece of paper. I'm gonna use a thin piece of tissue paper. This is, I've just stripped, this is like double and I've just stripped the piece off. Now if I put that on there and it fits, that should, I'm saying should, stop it squealing. Because what you'll tend to find is when you put tops on sometimes like this, if they're not a really tight fit, and I can't turn it because I'm going to come across this, I can't turn it without having something to hold it, okay? And I'm very fortunate, I've still got the step centre mark there for the centre. See, I've still got it there, so I'm going to use the step centre and I'm going to come in. And look, that's lined up perfectly, that. And all I'm putting is a little bit of pressure, but I'm going to see, it might make a bit of noise, I don't know, and if it does I'll have to change it, but the tissue hopefully should stop it. And then I'm just going to make a nice little shear cut across that, and for that I'm actually going to use my gouge here, my spindle gouge. Okay, so I'm going to start up and I'm going to see if it's going to make a noise or it's going to be quiet. Now it's going to be quiet, so that's good. Now I can't take a lot from this lid because it's quite thin already. That's why I'm coming from the bottom up, because it's actually the bottom that's that slight bit thicker. And I'm there. I think I'm there. Maybe one more. Yeah, that's good. That's good, that's alright that. I'm quite happy about that. That do me. I had to do it very gentle. Now, what I'm thinking I'm going to do, because that's going to be a pretty plain join, so I'm actually going to put a burn line on that. I'm going to put a burn line on it. I'm not trying to actually hide it. There we go. I think that'll be alright. Yeah. Now I'm going to give it a little bit of a sand in. Put a bit of paper here. Put the plastic structure on. Now I can just hear a very slight bit of noise where it's starting to want to move, so I'm going to be very careful with this. Just with that a little there, very slight. just a 180 grit. So I've done that. And now I'm going to use these little pads. I've got 240 grit here. And I've got 320. That's looking quite nice. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a 400 on. Yeah, we can go on this one. I'm going to put 400 grit on. Right. So that's a 400 grit. And I'm going to do that on a rotary one. So it will hopefully make sure there's no standing marks. Feels nice. There we go. Right, turn that off. I can still just hear every so often that slight noise, but it's not bad. Right, okay, I'm now going to put some sanding sealer on. Shake up. And I like to sort of start putting it on while the lathe is still spinning. That way I know I'll get a good one. I'm not going to soak it in it. That looks quite nice actually. Whether you can see that on there, yeah, you can see that. Alright. Make sure that's it with the sanding sealer. That's just a shellac sanding sealer. If you go back to making the sanding sealer in the shellac, it's on there about the shellac. You can see how I do my shellac sanding sealer. I actually, let me take this off from up. My actual preference for sanding is the shellac one's good, and I like the shellac and I use it quite often. But I really like the chestnut cellulose one. That and the thinner. I get so you get your can of each, and then you can mix them 50-50. Well, the can of thinner to the can of what I do. So I go for a 50-50 mix. I find that works pretty good for me. Right, and what I'm going to do for a finish on this, like I was talking about yesterday, I'm just going to use my Canuba wax, okay? And this is the one I make up. So first thing I'm going to do is get myself some shavings out of my thing. I'm going to start up, and I'm just going to come on and give this a slight denib. A little denib like that with the shavings. Okay, that's that. Now I'm going to put my wax on. Try and keep it as even as you can. Getting a little noise there. Just tighten it and it stops it making a noise. Right. A bit more shaving. And I'm going to take the first bit of the wax any sort of bulky bits off with that. Now I'm going to use my rag. And you'll see it moving. And this is where I was saying, if the canoe wax is too hard, you'll have to get a bit more pressure to get it moving. It depends on what you're using it for, but for this sort of thing, what I've got here is perfect. Like I said, I make it up to suit me. You'll have to do the same. Just make your mix up. Do your Canuba wax flakes and your beeswax pellets, and just see what you've got. You always want more Canuba wax than beeswax, but it's whether you want, say, I would start, if you're doing it, probably start at about 60-40 and see how hard your mix comes out. You can always melt it back down and add another bit, you know, a little bit more of your beeswax or a little bit more of your shellac and change it. It's not like you've done it, oh that's a mistake. You can just melt it back down and add a little bit more of either which one you want, until you get it right for you. No matter if you have to melt it down 10 times, it's not going to bother this. Just time, isn't it? That's all. Right, but there you go. That's given a nice finish on that, and that's as easy as that to get a finish with Canuba wax. Okay, and there you go. You can see that. You can probably see there somewhere. Let me bring you there. Well, probably better to see if it's out a bit or in a bit, I don't know. But you can see anyway, it's got a lovely shine on it. Okay, it's awkward because of the way the light is here, but right, I'm going to bring you back up here because now I've got to do the bit for taking the bits off. Right, let me get it apart anyway. So what we're going to do, actually, I'm going to gently release the pressure first, pull that back, take that off of there, get rid of that, and that should give me, yeah, I've got a nice finish there, and you can see the shine on the Canuba wax. Okay, and that's all it is a Canuba wax. Give you a nice shiny piece. Yeah, that's all right, because the very slight difference where I've reduced its length, obviously the pattern is going to have a very slight, by like, well, it's not even half a mil, you know, out, but by putting the burn line there, it disguises it straight away, so that's okay. Right, so what I'm going to do now, I've got to now finish the bottom off of this one, which I'm going to do first. So for that, I'm not going to put anything on this, and for the inside I'm actually just going to leave it. I might actually just put a bit of shellac sanding sealer on the inside, and that will be enough. Okay, I think that will be enough for it. So again, what I'm going to do, I'm going to have my lathe running, put the shellac onto my rag, and then I'm going to stop the lathe and apply it, and that way I'll get a nice even coat of it as it goes round. And then in there, I'm even going to just put a little bit just around this edge there, and that's all I'm going to use. It's a shellac, so it is actually a finish on its own. Right, that's that. So now I'm going to just start it up and use my rag just to give it a little buff like so. Okay, and a little buff around there. Little buff on there, and that's it. That's going to do for that. That's given that a pretty nice finish actually in there. Now I've got to take the bottom off. So I'm going to pop it out of here. There, so yeah, let's give that quite a nice finish inside there. Okay, and we've got a lovely finish, lovely glossy finish on the outside. So now I've just got to take this this foot off. Okay, I don't know if I can, whether it'll stay running true. No. trying to do something here, so bear with me. Right, yeah, that's not too bad. I can go with that. Right, I'm going to tighten that down at that, and I'm going to give it an extra little like so. Right, it's not perfect, but it's good enough. Because what I want to do, I'm going to be mounting this to take the bottom off, and I'm probably going to mount it on my wooden jaws. But there's quite a lot of bottom there, and it's quite a hard wood this. So what I want to do, I want to actually part that off. I've got plenty of room in the bottom here, so I just want to come in and part that off with my parting tool. Okay, and that saved me a lot of turning off. So what I've done there is I've just moved it. You probably can't see. Let me bring it around here. See what I've done there? I've just moved it out of the chuck a bit there, so I've got room to get my parting tool in. Okay, and I just want to part it off from there, rather than I'm going to take this stab centre out because that's an elbow stabber, and we don't want that in our way. Take my stab centre out. Right, and I just want to part it off. I don't want to be having to turn all that stuff away. Okay, so I'm just going to use my parting tool. There we go. It's got a very slight wobble, but it's not enough to bother me. Okay, and I'm going to come in here about there. So let me come here and I'm going to take a little release cut. I don't have to, but please just need to do it here. Get it to there, and now I'm just going to come in and pop it straight off. Okay. There we go, off like that. Now that's going to be a lot easier for me to clean that bottom up. And I should probably do the same thing with the lid. In fact, I might actually do the lid now, because it's not a tight enough fit for me to put the lid on and turn it, and I've got enough thickness on that lid. So again, if I can come in and get it, yeah, that's close enough. So I'm going to tighten that. I've left that bit of a gap. That's enough for me to get my parting tool in. Okay, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing. Right, now that's very close to the chuck, so I'm not going right through with it because there's a chance it might move and hit the chuck. So I've taken it right down to that little bit, and then I'm just going to saw through. I'm just going to saw through that bottom last little bit. Right, and that's just going to help me. I've removed all that amount of wood away, so now that's going to be very easy for me to clean that bottom up. It just saves me, because it's quite thin. I don't want to grip it too hard. I want to just be able to put it on and just clean that bottom away. I'm not doing any fancy Nancy stuff with it. That's going to fit like that. So I just want to, that's still that's a little bit tight, but that'll be all right. If it's a problem, I can always just sand around it or sand that, but it's not a problem. That's not too tight. I think that will be all right with time and use. I mean, I'm saying about when you're, let me take my mask off for a minute, my face shield. I'm saying about when you're selling them, you know, if you're selling them and they're for women and stuff, they tend to like to have them on their dressing table or something like that. And a lot of people, I'm the same actually. If I have a lidded pot, I want to be able to just take the lid off one end. I don't have to get it and really pop it off, unless it's, you know, something where you need a tight fitting pot. But this one ain't going to bother me because it's not for LE1, it's just for me to turn. I'm just basically turning it rather than throwing it away, because it is actually a very nice piece of wood, and I think it deserves to be finished. Right, now for me to do these bottoms, I'm going to use my wooden chuck jaws. I've explained about these, I've shown them, I've shown how I make them, I've shown what I put them on, everything. If you want to see it, go back and watch one of the videos. I'm going to move you around a bit because you're a bit zoomed in there. I'm just going to move you around here, and I'll leave you at about there, like so. You should be able to see. Okay, right, so bottom of the pot first. I should be able to hold this in here. I'm going to give it a little well. If not, I have other ways I can hold it if I don't think this is going to be alright. That's just going to get there. It's wooden jaws, so it won't mark nothing. Everything's running perfectly true. Okay, and that's it. I'm going to give it another, I've got it tailed, little nip like so. Is that going to stay on? Oh, I think so. What's the worst that can happen? It comes off. Now, there you go. That sort of, I'm not doing anything spectacular with the bottom. I literally just want it to be there so I can take that off. Probably going to use a small spindle gouge, a little 3/8 spindle gouge. Yeah, I'm there for centre, and I'm just literally, I'm going to make some gentle cuts and come across and clean that bottom up, and then give it a little sand, put a bit more wax on it, and hey presto, that'll be that done. So what I'm going to do, as it starts up, I'm just going to put my finger here just so I can feel everything's okay. Yep, it's not going to go nowhere. So right, I'm going to come on very gentle. I don't want to push anything off. Release that a little bit. Now I'm going to come in and take it in slightly, so it's going to be able to sit on the outside edge. I'm going to make another cut from here. No, there we go, we lost it. Did I mark it? Right, we lost it. It only went over there, but it's cool. I noticed that I've got a nasty bit there actually. There's like a little hole there. There's like a little hole in that centre bit, but didn't mark nothing. I'm going to put it back in. I did wonder with that because it's very shiny, see, and I could probably do it. I'm not actually getting it all on that. I'm not a perfect round there, so right, I'm back in. No harm done, no damage done. It happens to everyone. Everything's still running perfectly true. Okay, I pushed a little bit hard on that bottom. I actually probably think my tool's probably not, it could probably do with a little sharpen. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to give that a very quick sharpen up. Okay, so like I said, all my tools sharpened over here. So I'll turn you around. I'm going to give it a quick, very quick little buzz on here. So I'll just tighten in there, take that one out. That's it. Pop that in there. There we go. I might not be quite sharp enough. I thought I was, you know, it's taken a little bit of time to get it to go across, so I was pushing a little bit. And these are little things that we do when we think, well, that was a bit stupid, I should have just stopped and sharpened, really. Right, let's put you back round and we'll see how we do this time, okay? Right, so I'm going to start that up again. Right, and I'm going to see how this cuts this time. Oh, there we go, that's better, look. Right, and I can get that off now. There's a
a bit there. I don't know what it is, but right now I'm going to have to come in on this edge. So I'm going to give myself a little shell. I don't want no skip back. There we go. That's running so much smoother now. Going a little bit deeper than I want, but that's all right. Okay, nice and gentle, right to that end. Just be careful of this middle bit. That's what got me last time. And there we go. Yeah, we've done it. We've done it all right. Okay, we've managed it. So, no real drama. Let's get that sanded up. But there you go. That's what I say. If I pop, the only time I ever lose a thing is if it's on the wiggle jaws. I tend to push a little bit harder than I should. But like I said, no drama. I'm not overworried. Like I did say at the start, if it comes off, it comes off. I'm not going to worry about it. There's no drama. It's not a big enough piece that it's going to cause any problems. It's not going to hurt anyone. And we recovered it, and it didn't do any damage whatsoever, which is surprising. I thought I was going to have a nasty mark on it then, but it didn't. There we go. Right, so that. It's 240. And 320. And then we're going to use the 400 on the rotary, the same. It won't turn as well, but it's alright. Yeah, it feels nice. There we go, just on that edge. That feels nice, okay. Sanding sealer. And like I said, if it happens, it happens. It happens to everyone. You know, I don't cut it out. If it happens, it happens. I want you to see it because then you see how I deal with it. We found out what caused it. Basically, what caused it was I should have gone and sharpened the tool. But it's got this little black bit in the set now. It's not like a heart. It's actually like where the pith was, and it's a hard black piece. There. I don't know what it actually is, whether what it's got in it there, but it's not caused us a major problem, is it? You know, it happens. Like I say, I couldn't put it on a set of my metal. I could have actually. I could have put it over a set of jaws, but I didn't want to expand into it. Because it's end grain, I don't want to take a chance. I didn't want to take a chance on it cracking, so that's why I wanted to do it this way. And now that gives a beautiful shine. That's actually the wax. There we go. There we go. That's that done. Yeah. Beautiful finish on that. Right, I'm taking the face shield off for a second. Right, okay. Oops, wrong key. Right. Yeah, the thing that, yeah, it didn't mark that at all when that come out. I was surprised it landed down there as well. But then Canuba wax is a real hard protective finish. Look at that shine on that bottom. There, look. I don't know whether you can see that. I don't know because I can't see the camera. See from where I am. Yeah, there. Look, you can see that. Look at that shining. Look,
That's just the Canuba wax there. So we lost it, but we picked it back up and everything's all good. Right, now I've got the lid to do. So yeah, that's looking all right, that. Right, okay. I'll just be a little bit, let me just give that a cloth. No, that's all right. That's okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Right, okay, so we're going to pop that there. Now we're going to do the top, and I'm going to use the same thing, but this one, see, with this one, because I've got the lip there, and it went in, where I was holding on, I'm holding on this outside edge, and I was only holding it by about 3mm, and that's probably what it come up with the tool not being quite sharp enough. This one's gone right in the full width of the chuck, so this one I reckon should hold better. Yeah, that should hold better. And all I'm literally going to do, I'm going to do basically the same thing. I'm just going to do a flat top for it. I'm not going over pretty over worrying about it. I just want to get pretty much a flat top on this. Now I know I've got a nice sharp gouge now, sharp spindle gouge. So again, straight across. Now this bit's all right on the bottom, this one. But this one, if you can see, it's got like that black bit, and the pit is, but it's not centre. It's slightly off of the centre, and I think that's what. For it was hard to cut, and of course I should have stopped and sharpened the gouge really. But there you go. Never mind. You learn by these things, don't we? We learn by these things. Let me see. You are still okay. Yes, you're still okay there. So now we're just going to take the bottom off of it. Well, we're not going to take the bottom, we're going to do the top of this. Okay, so I'm going to come in again, I'm going to take the higher bits off first. Like I said, I don't want to push too hard. Now, I've got to look and think what I want to do here. I might actually take the edge off. Just. There, I'm leaving a slight raise on that, so I've come across there and I've left it as a slight bump to it, so it sort of comes up and over. I think that gives it a better fit, because that's the lid. And that's it, that's all I've got to do basically. And now a bit of sanding. Like I say, I do always recommend, you know, a bit of sanding. I don't do it on a lot of the stuff because I don't do it as a finish on a lot of the stuff. It's a beautiful, but I love that's one thing about it, I love end grain like that. I love all those swells, you know. It's a bit of 180 grit. That's alright. Alright, nice and smooth. Right, so now I'm going to come in with 240 grit. Because we've got a beautiful finish off of our tool anyway, our actual sanding has given us a really nice finish. Right, 320, okay, you can see 320. Remember, face shield, Vesperator one if you got it, Vesperator and dust extraction. You don't want to be breathing any of this dust in. Most important, especially with this wood. Right, and now I'm going to the 400 again.
we go. Right. Just about to turn that off and get rid of the noise. Yeah, it's especially important with when sanding to have, if you've got, as I said, if you've got a face shield without the Vesperator, and I know people say these aren't Vesperator, well, it says Vesperator on it and it's good enough, it works for me, okay? I can't find anything better for me with what I do, okay? Right, let me get a shellac. Then I can put this on with the lathe moving because it's shellac, and it will actually, it is a finish on its own, like I said. So that will give it a good seal for the canoe wax to go on. Yeah, if you've just got a normal face shield, then I would recommend when you do your sanding that you wear a dust mask underneath it and have your dust extractor. I mean, if you ain't got a room for a dust extractor or things like that, I'm going to take this face shield off
because I'm just doing a wax on that now. I don't believe it's going to come off or anything. Right, just going to do my canoe wax. Yeah, I mean, if you ain't got room in your workshop for a canoe wax, what a dickhead, for a dust extractor. I mean, my dust extractor is outside in a separate cupboard that's built outside, and it has the two pipes just come through the wall, 4-inch pipes. I've got one for my bandsaw and one for my dust extractor here. And when I use my router table, it can connect up to this hose. Obviously, if you haven't got that room, then even just a simple vacuum cleaner, you know. Let's stop that. Oh, look at that. That looks beautiful, doesn't it? I'm glad I didn't throw that piece of wood away. That's right. Even a simple vacuum cleaner. Now, I've got, believe it or not, up here. Let me just pull you out a bit. Right, I'm going to just put you there. Right, I use this one a hell of a lot, this hose here. Now, up in my loft space, just up here, I've got a Henry Hoover. That's right, they're fantastic, Henry. Oh God, they are brilliant. And I've got a Henry Hoover. The pipe comes down. The pipe comes down this wall here from the loft space, and goes on to a cyclone there, just behind there. I've got a cyclone, I think you can probably see it, and I've got a metal bucket thing at the end there. Let me make sure I can, what's it, yeah, you're okay there. Right, so yeah, just let me check that you did see it. Yeah, down there behind the bin, okay, look at that. That was an old dust extractor back thing that buggered up, and I took all the motor off and I kept the bucket because it's really good. And I put a cyclone on it, and that goes up into there and connects to a Henry Hoover. That's all it is. And then I have, they're very cheap to buy, those extractors, those cyclones and stuff. And then I have this hose here, which is a 50mm or it's a 2-inch hose, 2.5 inch I think, hose that comes off of that, and I use this, and I've got it just on a plug here. This is my Hoover's turned on, like on the switch is left on all the time. I just have it on the switch, and that, you can hear this. Look, the suction that has is fantastic. And I mean, I've had a clamp before for it, and I used to just hook it there when I was sanding, or you can just hold it if you're sanding with one hand. It's, like I said, if you haven't got a big extractor, you can use, there are other ways you can do it, but sanding and things like that without proper face shields and stuff, you're just asking for trouble. Especially, I mean, this sort of wood, right? Now this ash, I've had it just sat out the back. Now I've got quite a lot of it. I haven't cut it up into blanks. I've actually left it in trunk form. So they're basically from sort of 6 to 7 inches out to about 12 inches. I've got them, and they're about 4 foot long, and I've left them like that, and they have cracked and everything, and I've got them. They're undercover. I don't want them for bowls. You know, as I said, I'm not into bowls. I don't want them into bowl blanks or anything like that. I will use them more for this sort of thing, little things and spindles and that. And yes, they have cracked and they have had water getting them. But what's happened in a very, very short time is I'm starting to get a lot of this spalting happening on some of these. The little bowl I did yesterday, that was a piece with the traditional tools. That's got a lot. That was just clear white ash that you put on. It would have just turned and come out as white ash. Because I've left it like that, it started to get all these watermarks and it started to get all this, and it's making a nice patterning. Now the thing is with that, any sort of spalting or that on wood, it is like a mould that's growing in it. So you've got to be even more careful, because you don't want that getting inside. It might not affect you today, but 6 months down the line, that could actually be growing inside your lungs. It could affect you. So dust protection is such an important part. It really is, you know. And there we go. That actually come out with a slightly tighter lid than I wanted it to have. I mean, a lot of Woodturners would be happy with that, wouldn't you? There, pop goes the weasel. So yeah, that's all lined up all right there. Okay, grains all matched up all round. We've got a beautiful finish on the top, beautiful finish on the bottom. And there you go. So we turned it into a nice little lidded pot. And the inside, I didn't wax the inside of that. Now, the chances are, believe it or not, guys, this is probably going to go in my fire and be burnt. So it's not something I'm going to keep. But I'll have it in the workshop for a bit. I'll probably put something in it. I don't know what, but there you go. It is a nice piece to not throw away, really. But there you go. Anyway, so we didn't waste it, guys. And that is beautiful. I love that patterning on the top, that and on the bottom there, look. And that finish is just Canuba wax. Now, what I was saying about with Canuba wax is, see, the thing with that, right, it's a very, very easy finish to put on. You see how easy it is. Now I can touch this and I can handle it and I can hold it in my hands and I can do all this with it, and it doesn't lose any shine. It doesn't get any finger marks or anything, because Canuba wax melts at a lot higher temperature than what wax does, beeswaxes and things like that. So when you get your polishes and your waxes and you put them on, and then people handle them, you'll get them, they go dull and they get fingerprints and stuff. That's why a lot of people say, oh, don't touch them, you know, don't want you to pick them up. Canuba wax, not a problem. Handle it as much as you want. It's as tough as old boots, it really is. Okay, and you can handle it and it won't lose its shine. It'll stay nice and shiny like that. Beautiful. Okay, so there you go, guys. That was it. Just a quick little finish that pot off. Save me throwing that piece of wood away. That's all it was. Okay, so there we go. I will see you on the next one. But guys, protect your lungs. I mean, you know, a little piece flying off, people say, oh, that flew off, that's dangerous. What did it do? It dropped down there, I picked it up, put it back on and carried on. That's it. If that come off, if it hit me, it's not going to do hardly. Even if it hit me in the face and it put a little cut, that will heal, won't it? That's it. But get some of this mouldy stuff go into your lungs, basically, guys, you're fucked. There you go. That's as plain as I can put it. I will see you on the next one, guys. I'll give you a little zoom in on that. There you go, so you can see that beautiful shine. Look at that, absolutely beautiful. Right, toodle pip, guys.